Welcome back to the Mindset Advantage. I'm Jeffrey Wendel, and I'm so glad you're here for episode 3. In our last episode, we explored the so what next pitch philosophy, and the response has been incredible. I've received messages from listeners all over the country telling me how this simple mantra has helped them let go of mistakes and refocus on what matters. If you haven't listened to episode 2 yet, I highly recommend going back and checking it out. Today, we're going to expand on that foundation. We're diving deep into one of the most powerful truths I've learned in my 33 years of coaching. Yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a present. That's why they call it a gift. This episode is all about mastering the present moment. We're going to explore why most of us struggle to stay present, what it costs us when we don't, and most importantly, I'm going to give you practical techniques you can use immediately to let go of past mistakes and future anxieties. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you were truly, fully present? Not thinking about what happened yesterday, not worrying about what might happen tomorrow, but completely engaged in the moment you were in. For most of us, it's rare. Our minds are constantly time traveling. We replay conversations from last week, analyzing what we should have said differently. We worry about presentations next month, creating elaborate worst-case scenarios in our heads. We're physically in one place, but mentally, we're everywhere else. I see this all the time in my coaching work. I'll be sitting across from a business owner who's telling me about their current challenges, but I can see their mind is somewhere else. They're still stuck on a deal that fell through 6 months ago, or they're anxious about whether they'll make payroll next quarter. They're missing the opportunity right in front of them because they're not actually present for it. And here's the thing, I understand it. I've been there. We all have. Our brains are wired to learn from the past and plan for the future. That's not a bad thing. The problem is when we get stuck there and we spend so much time dwelling on what was or worrying about what might be that we miss what is. So let's break this down. Why do we struggle to stay present? There are 2 main culprits: regret about the past and anxiety about the future. Let's start with the past. Yesterday is history. It's over, it's done, you cannot change it. I know that sounds simple, but think about how much mental energy you spend replaying past events. That argument you had with your colleague, that business decision that didn't pan out, that opportunity you missed. We replay these moments over and over as if somehow, by thinking about them enough, we can go back and change the outcome. But we can't. And every moment we spend dwelling on the unchangeable past is a moment we're not fully engaged in the present, where we actually have power. When I'm coaching my baseball players, I see this constantly. A kid makes an error in the first inning, and he's still thinking about it in the 5th inning. He's so consumed by that one mistake that he's not focused on the play happening right now. And guess what? He makes another error. Not because he lacks skill, but because he's mentally stuck in the past. That's when I remind them, you cannot change that error. It's history. But you can control what you do right now, in this moment, with this pitch. So how do you let go of the past? Here's a technique I use with my clients. When you catch yourself replaying a past event, I want you to ask yourself 3 questions. First, can I change what happened? The answer is always no. Second, what can I learn from this? Extract the lesson, the insight, the growth opportunity. Third, what action can I take right now in this present moment to move forward? This process acknowledges the past without getting stuck in it. You learn from it, and then you consciously redirect your focus to the present, where your power lives. Now let's talk about the future. Tomorrow is a mystery. And here's a statistic that always surprises people. 90% of the things we worry about never actually happen. 90%. Think about all the mental energy you spent worrying about things that never came to pass. The presentation that you were convinced would be a disaster but went fine. The conversation you were dreading that turned out to be productive. The worst case scenario that never materialized. I'm not saying we shouldn't plan for the future. Planning is smart. Strategic thinking is essential. But there's a huge difference between productive planning and unproductive worrying. Productive planning is when you identify potential challenges and create action steps to address them. It's solution-focused. It empowers you. Unproductive worrying is when you create elaborate, catastrophic scenarios in your mind and then emotionally react to things that haven't happened and probably never will. It's fear-focused. It paralyzes you. I'll give you an example from my own life. Years ago, when I was building my coaching business, I would lie awake at night worrying. What if nobody signs up for my seminars? What if I can't pay my bills? What if I fail? These thoughts would spiral and I'd create these detailed disaster scenarios in my head. One day, a mentor asked me a simple question. Jeffrey, what are you doing right now to prevent those outcomes? And I realized that all my worrying wasn't actually helping me solve the problem. It was just draining my energy and keeping me from taking action in the present moment. So I shifted my approach. Instead of worrying about what might happen, I focused on what I could control right now. I could make one more phone call today. I could refine my presentation. I could reach out to one more potential client. Present moment action replaced future-focused anxiety. All right, I want you to do an exercise with me right now. This is what I call a present moment audit. And it's a powerful tool for bringing yourself back to the here and now. First, I want you to pause whatever else you're doing. If you're driving, keep your eyes on the road, but if you're at home or in your office, I want you to stop multitasking for just a moment. Now take a deep breath. Inhale slowly through your nose for a count of 4. Hold it for a count of 2. Exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 6. Do that with me one more time. Good. Now I want you to notice 5 things in your immediate environment. What do you see? What do you hear? What physical sensations are you aware of? Maybe it's the feeling of your feet on the ground, or the chair supporting your back, or the temperature of the air around you. This is presence. This is the present moment. Notice how different it feels from the mental time traveling we were talking about earlier. Here's the truth. The present moment is the only place where you can actually take action. You can't act in the past. You can't act in the future. You can only act now. And when you're fully present, you make better decisions, you perform at a higher level, and you experience less stress. Let me give you 3 practical techniques you can use every day to master the present moment. Technique 1, the 5-second reset. When you catch yourself dwelling on the past or worrying about the future, pause for 5 seconds. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, what is the most important thing I can do right now in this moment? Then do that thing. This simple reset brings you back to the present and redirects your energy toward productive action. Technique 2, single tasking. We live in a culture that glorifies multitasking, but the research is clear. Multitasking reduces the quality of everything you do. Instead, practice single tasking. When you're in a meeting, be fully in that meeting. When you're having a conversation with your child, be fully in that conversation. When you're working on a project, be fully focused on that project. Presence is about quality, not quantity. Technique 3, the evening reflection. At the end of each day, take 5 minutes to reflect. Ask yourself, what moments today was I fully present? What moments was I mentally somewhere else? What can I do tomorrow to be more present? This practice builds self-awareness and helps you improve over time. I use these techniques with my baseball team all the time. Before every game, we do a presence exercise. We focus on our breathing, we notice our surroundings, and we set an intention to be fully engaged in each pitch, each play, each moment. And I can tell you, The difference in their performance is remarkable. When they're present, they play their best baseball. Let's recap what we've covered today. First, we explored why we struggle to stay present. Most of us are mentally time traveling, stuck in regret about the past or anxiety about the future. Second, we talked about letting go of the past. Yesterday is history. You can't change it, but you can learn from it and then redirect your focus to the present moment where your power lives. Third, we addressed future anxiety. Tomorrow is a mystery, and 90% of what we worry about never happens. The key is to shift from unproductive worrying to productive planning and present moment action. Fourth, we did a present moment audit together, a simple exercise to bring you back to the here and now. And finally, I gave you 3 practical techniques: the 5-second reset, single tasking, and the evening reflection. These are tools you can use every single day to master the present moment. Here's my challenge for you this week. Practice being present. Pick one of the 3 techniques I shared and commit to using it every day for the next 7 days. Notice what changes. Notice how it affects your stress levels, your performance, and your relationships. And if you want to go deeper, I invite you to visit my website at jeffreywendel.com. There you can learn more about my Change Your Mind, Change Your Life seminars, where we work together to build these skills in a team or organizational setting. Thank you for joining me for episode 3 of The Mindset Advantage. I hope this episode has given you practical tools to let go of the past, stop worrying about the future, and fully embrace the gift of the present moment. Next week, we're going to talk about one of my favorite topics: building unshakable resilience. We'll explore what it means to run through the wall when adversity hits, and how to develop the mental toughness to face challenges head on. You won't want to miss it. Until then, remember, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a present. Change your mind, and you will change your life.